Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on episode 9 of NextGenKarate. We're filming here in beautiful Kelowna, BC at RHK. This is Lauren.
Hello.
And my name's Rod. Today on episode 9, we're talking to a good friend of mine, really good guy, Kenny Lim. So, experienced guy. He's been around for a long time. He's the former BC team kata coach from 2006.
He was a member of the BC team for around 5 years.
Long time. Team Canada member, 2000 to 2002.
And he is he was a Team Canada Team Kata Canadian champion in 2000.
That's the one. And now he runs his own club. He's been running his own club since 2006, so for about 10 years. Long time. We welcome Kenny Lim. How's it going?
I'm good. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking the time. So,
So how did you start karate and when did you start?
I think I was 11 when I started. My parents kind of threw me into a community center. I fell in love with it right away and did it ever since.
Crazy.
Okay. So how long have you been training then?
24 years. Way too long.
You're an old man now.
Hey, man, we're the same, dude. We've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
I think we've known each other for almost 20 years, right?
I think so. It's got to be, because that was... we competed at BC Winter Games.
97? Yeah, see?
Yeah.
That's almost... We've known each other 19 years, man.
Good Lord, that's a long
That's
time.
a long time, dude.
Yeah. Man, it takes me back because it seems like it was just yesterday. Like it seems, not too long ago.
It does sometimes.
Yeah.
And how old is Lauren right now?
I am 12. So.
You see, you weren't even alive yet. That goes to show you.
We're fighting each other, and you weren't there yet. But I mean, you'll have to experience all that stuff that we did, and then you'll be having these conversations with people that you met 20 years ago. 20 years ago, my goodness. Anyway, so you've been around for a long time. How's your dojo going? You opened it about 10 years ago. How's that?
Yeah, it's going well. I moved into my own location last year because I was in a community center for the last 9 years doing it out of there.
Okay.
But I finally have my own dedicated location now in Vancouver, so that's really good.
Nice. That's a big difference, eh?
It is. Having your own space and doing your own thing at your own time. You have a lot more time for your students and for yourself to just kind of breathe, I guess.
Yeah. We did the same. Like we sort of anyway. We rented a hall across the street for... I don't know, for 10 years or something like that. And I mean, nobody knew we were really there, and the people that you get aren't super dedicated. So we kind of hovered at the same membership for a long time. And then when we opened up our full-time location, once you can give it your all and have the availability when you want it.
I absolutely agree. I mean, I was a chef for a long time, and you kind of like when you have your attention two ways, like you're not giving it 100%. So when you put in 50%, you can only expect to get 50%.
Exactly.
So when you put in 100%, you're going to guarantee it. You're going to get at least 100%.
Yeah. And you, is that a full-time location then? That's what you're...
It is. Yeah.
Nice. And you have a lot of help helping you out too, or you got a couple good guys anyway that I know?
I do, definitely. Tan and Tian are always a great help, but they're busy. They're in college, university, and they're working now. And of course, karate will always be there, but, opportunities to get ahead in life are always, again, like every other opportunity is very small. So you've got to take any opportunity you can and get ahead in life. And, karate will always be there at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how many students do you have at your dojo approximately?
Again, that roughly depends because different classes run at different times. You know what I mean? Like targeted programs, and then there's the fully dedicated ones. I think the fully dedicated ones that are there all the time, at least training 3 days a week, probably roughly in the 50s, 55.
That's good.
Okay.
But between the ones that are in and out into the taught programs and stuff that aren't really doing like true karate in the sense of the word karate, there's a whole bunch of those too, right?
Yeah.
But they're there nonetheless. But the term we know as karate is really immersing ourselves in the kata and the kumite and everything, because there's only so much you can do in a half an hour a week with the little.
Exactly.
But it's a good starting point and a good grassroots level, right? So
maybe just explain a little bit about your program. I mean, we've interviewed a bunch of people on the show already. Some people are kumite only. Some people are very, very strong kata and don't do kumite anymore. What kind of program do you offer? What's your experience?
I honestly believe karate should be, in essence, what it is, karate. You can't be like, I'm a kata only club, I'm a kumite only club. I think you need to do both to do karate, because I feel the experiences you take with you kind of hone everything about yourself. Like if you choose to travel with your karate, train at another dojo internationally, and you say, I only do kumite, and they are doing kata while you're training. Like, do you know what I mean? You don't really get the karate vibe, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't go into the world kumite championships. You don't go into the world kata championships. We go into the world karate championships. And for me, I really it's kind of sad because I think our generation did everything. Like you and me, both of us. So we both did kata and kumite.
Yep.
It may or may not have been very good, one or the other. Do you know what I mean? But there wasn't fear to do one or the other or fail in one because it helps hone the other.
Well, and there was, I mean, when I was coming up, there was no option. Like, there is no.
Absolutely.
If I said
I
only want to do kata, they said, yeah, no.
That's it. If you told your sensei, I'm competing, he said, okay, you're. That's it. You signed up for both. It was automatic, and if you were lucky enough to do weapons or team kata, then that's an additional bonus, right?
Yeah.
But definitely no, I'm with you on that point. Like especially when you're young, I don't think you should like specialize, quote unquote specialize. You haven't achieved the amount of experience necessary to specialize yet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a really, really good karate really can hone your kata and kumite. Kumite will help your kata and vice versa.
Right.
Okay. So you were a Team Kata champion in 2000. Do you really enjoy doing Team Kata?
There is a component of team kata that's very enjoyable, but it's very difficult. The movements aren't so hard, but the synchronization of timing is the most difficult part. Trying to make sure that you trust the other person, the other people, and the other persons around you to do their part as well.
Yeah.
It is difficult because it tends to the responsibility tends to fall on one person or the other when a mistake is usually made, even though it is a team event.
Yeah.
But it's easy to blame anyone when it's in a team event too. So you really have to gel with your team. But it was fun. Definitely I love kata, and I started as a kumite athlete, a true kumite athlete. My kata was absolutely dreadful. The first few years I made the BC team, I couldn't even make the kata team. I think I was like 7th or 8th spot on the roster. It was really pathetic.
Yeah.
But then you know what? I think it's because I was in that stigma of thinking I was only a kumite person, right?
Sure.
But I think as I progressed, I really appreciated it. And I learned to appreciate the intricacies and the fine points of the kata. So I think it really helped me develop as a person, as an athlete, as a karate practitioner.
Right. So your dojo is a very skilled competitive dojo. You do very well at the provincial championships. And
Thank you. They definitely try. I push the kids really hard, but the dojo has one motto, right? Like it's if you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. It's a quote by Benjamin Franklin, and those are wise words.
Absolutely, yeah. So, do you have a lot of people going for BC team this year?
I have a handful. Pretty much all the guys who are doing really, really well in the circuit in the early 2000s are all busy with jobs and being adults now, right?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Victoria's 23 already, and Tan's in second year university or third year UBC.
Oh my gosh.
Like they're being slammed with a lot of hard stuff, and I got a couple of young guys coming up. Some of them aren't ineligible yet, but they will be in the next couple of years. I'm excited for those guys.
Okay.
I think for right now, I think I have about 5 or 6 trying out for team that are eligible.
Same as us, yeah. So we have people like Lauren. Lauren's 12 years old, competing in the 12-13. She's first time going to the open and team selection and that whole process. She looks like she's going to be on Team BC because I think she's the only one in her weight. She's minus 35 and 12-13. So any advice for athletes like her out there who are getting a little freaked out about this competition but still striving hard, pushing hard, and thinking that they're going to do well and representing BC at nationals?
You know what? Honestly, do the best you can. Don't try so hard to win. Everything is one step process, right? Like, take everything one step at a time. Make sure you have definitive goals of what you want to do, and strive for that the best you can. Are you more doing the kata end or the kumite end?
I don't know. I think I'm a bit more of a kumite person.
She has a very nice kata too. But there's some tough girls in that division for kata, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah. Okay.
In terms of kumite, the best advice I can tell you is absorb everything you can in every fight. Every opponent is your teacher, so they'll tell you something about yourself and what you need to improve or what's working for you. So definitely don't shy away from taking a risk sometimes when you feel necessary. everyone will teach you something. So absorb everything the best you can. Video, watch tons of video of yourself, your fight, and anyone else you feel you want to replicate. There's a lot of really good fighters out there in WKF or even in other circuits. And if you see a technique you really like, don't shy away from replicating or copying anything, right? Just make it your own and make sure you kind of incorporate it into the way you fight because it will develop you as a fighter, make you more tactical, make you a little smarter.
So you're saying other circuits. I think you're probably the biggest, I guess, maybe champion for competing in the open circuit that I personally know in Karate BC. You're a big fan of reaching out and going to these other competitions.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of the guys that fight in the UFC now that are really popular, I've actually known them for a long time because they all started there. Even Ryan Gimo from who recently passed away. Rest in peace. He started in Karate Canada as well.
Yep.
You know, and karate is a great base for all that stuff. But I think being stuck in, I guess, a traditional sport mindset, it really kind of it's like a glass bubble, right? It's very small. Like every circuit has their own thing, and I think people shouldn't be afraid to branch out. In fact, I think Karate BC is the only one that kind of stays kind of small like that in terms of the mindset. I think everyone on the East Coast has a lot more access to NASCA circuit, and they take advantage of that. Even the U.S. team, I believe everyone on the U.S. team, like 85% of them this year that went to Pan Am's, all compete in the NASCA circuit or the NBL circuit as well. And because by having 2 or 3 times more competition than we do, it really grows you. It teaches you things, you know. It's not necessarily about the difficulty or of the competition itself, but it's about personal growth and knowing what you're comfortable with, and you know, kind of you have to appreciate everything, kind of like kata and kumite. Right? It's a yin and yang. You can't just be doing this one thing or the other. Right? It's one and the other, not one or the other. And I think that's a very closed mindset. So I definitely do everything and anything. Like I do a lot of competitions in the U.S. Down the AA. I even compete in the AAU. My club competes in the AAU competitions, and that's the Amateur Athletic Union. If you guys don't know, it's a big program, right? It's a big athletic program in the U.S. They sponsor basketball and everything, but karate is a big part of that. They have their own Junior Olympics.
So it's basically just exposure, I guess. It's seeing new people, seeing new systems, and just getting yourself into the stress of competition. Is that what you're saying? Or?
Absolutely. I mean, Lauren, how many competitions do you do a year?
I don't know, 5, 6 maybe.
Okay. The first time I opened my club in the first year, we hit 27.
Wow.
27 a year. And we did that for I think 2 or 3 years straight, like between the numbers of 27 to 32, something like that. And we traveled a lot. And you know, it was great because we learned a lot about ourselves, how to gel as a team, the kind of situations you were in. Because when you put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, competing against people you don't see all the time, it really just kind of changed your mindset and your adrenaline is different. If you're competing against the same people all the time, I think you get a little too comfortable, and I think that doesn't necessarily always foster good, the best out of you, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. 27 competitions. That's outstanding.
Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, like even like I think I what am I trying to say? I agree with you. And in Kelowna, what we do is we run our own tournament series. So we run 4 competitions here just because there's nothing. There used to be all these tournaments that people could compete in. When back when we were competing, there was a lot more.
It's true.
And they've all gone. You know, there's only a handful left. So out of your 5 or 6 competitions that you do a year, like 4 of those are hosted by us, right? So the getting out there and competing more that's only beneficial to those young
absolutely
young
100%. I completely agree about that. It's again, every time you get on the mat, it's just a matter of just getting comfortable with yourself. I mean, even though, you know, I don't think anyone ever gets over their anxiety of competing. I mean, you're either anxious or you're excited, but I think everyone's always a little bit nervous and apprehensive, even if you've done it like 20, 30 times. I don't think as soon as you hit that mat, your adrenaline just shoots, right?
Yeah, and it should. You should welcome that.
I think the more you do it, I think it gets more comfortable, and you get less nervous and more anxious that you just want to get it over. Like, let's do it. I think that energy is very exciting, and I think the more you expose yourself to the energy, you really kind of change yourself, and your personality changes and you grow and you become a lot better, right?
Sure, sure. So out of all those experiences and being a longtime member of Karate BC, Karate Canada, what would be the biggest aspect of competition that you'd want to see changed?
I guess a lot of it is just the subjectivity. There's a lot of subjectivity.
Okay.
And I know it can't be helped. It's very difficult because karate is segmented into so many styles and
Yeah.
so many things. And for me, I really like when they had the shite kata.
Okay.
Maybe they could have increased the size of the shite kata, but I really like kind of like forcing everyone to be doing one set thing before they can move forward.
Right.
Because the way it is now, it's kind of like who knows the most complicated katas
Sure.
will win, and I really hate that because a lot of it isn't just the complicated katas. It's the I guess when officials are uneducated, they don't know any better. I think like a lower level kata should be able to beat a high level kata if done by a lower level individual. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Let's say a yellow belt does a P-nan kata, and it's excellent, like the best P-nan kata ever because they're a yellow belt. They
Yeah.
can't exceed. It's the high, it's the plateau.
Yeah.
And a black belt does a very bad kurarumfa.
Yeah.
I think in most cases the referees will say, "Oh well, it's a black belt, it's a black belt kata. I think they should win," and I don't believe that because you're not teaching anyone the value of good karate as opposed to well, you have you have more quantity, so you must have more quality, and I absolutely don't at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big problem for me. It happens more often than not, right? Because nowadays, what everyone's making up new katas all the time, like Anandai and stuff. It's like, you know what? A lot of these katas haven't even been mastered yet, and people are trying to remaster them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I've talked about this a little bit with Richard Mosdell from Kenzen. Because we're talking about the Olympics and kata getting into the Olympics, and I don't like the subjectivity of how kata is being officiated right now because there's absolutely no feedback to the athlete. So in kumite, you can watch and you can go, oh, I didn't get the point because I was too weak or I was off target or like these are the reasons why I didn't win. And kata, just the flags go up, then go down. You go, oh, okay, I lost. I go home.
Yeah.
So and talking on your point about shite kata, one idea he had is he said in his opinion there should be the set list. So say whatever there is, 8 kata, 12 kata, whatever it is, and then you line up, and then they randomly hold up a card and go, oh, you're doing a nan.
You're doing this.
Okay.
Well, they do that in some Shotokan competitions. I believe they do that in the Ozawa Cup and some of the other Shoto competitions. And that's a good way to do it because it kind of forces you to be. Because even if they're black belts, they actually make you forced to do like teki katas and like heian katas.
Sure.
They're like, okay, you're a black belt. I don't care. You're gonna do like a heian godan or something like that. And show me your skill set before we let you continue. And I think that is an amazing way to do things.
Yeah.
It evens the playing field a lot because a lot of people. Let's say the kata competition is 5 rounds, which is a lot of rounds, by the way. It's a lot of people.
Sure.
If you don't have any of the big 5 kata, like the Superimpes and the Anans and the Chatanyaras and the Anandais and Papures now, I mean, you're hooped. You're done.
Yeah.
Because here, like Lauren, are you a black belt, Lauren?
No, I am a blue belt.
Okay, let's assume you got a junior black or you're a brown belt, and your sensei is giving you X amount of katas. And right off the bat, the very first round, someone goes Superinpe right against you. And you're going, oh, it's over. Yeah, before you even get on the mat as Ao, because Aka goes first, in your head, you're already like, I don't even have anything to compete against this. So you have 2 options. You either flop completely and force that person to carry you all the way through the repechage, or you try your best to beat them and then have nothing left for the second round. You know what I mean? Like that is a very disheartening way to compete in kata. You could say, well, you can challenge yourself and everyone can learn new katas. Yeah, but that's not the point because we have to respect each other's styles too. This is why the stylistic component is there. We need to respect each style individually and kind of let each style do their own thing.
What do you think about the scoring in kata? Because right now you were talking about subjectivity. Not only are the athletes have absolutely no feedback, but in a lot of people's opinions, the officials aren't accountable. They'll hold up their flag and then there's not a lot of base to the decision. One idea that I like is going to sort of like a metric system for kata scoring. So you would have basically because right now in the current rules, there's 3 aspects to kata that get scored: conformity, athletic performance, technical performance. What do you think about having a panel? So say you have a technical performance panel, and they pick whether red had better technical performance or blue had better technical performance. They make their decision. The athletic people make their decision. The conformity people make their decision, and then best 2 out of flags wins. 2 out of 3 flags wins.
I think that's a great idea, but the problem with that is we're always so tight about having officials. Period.
That's true.
There's just that lack of people there. I guess it comes down to the beggars can't be choosers problem, right? And because we have lack of officials, we can't afford to make another panel, or there just isn't enough to, I guess, entice people to want to compete. I mean, some of the biggest problems I find with I guess traditional karate competitions is it's very self-funded. If you want to be there, it's self-funded. Whenever you go to a sport karate competition, like an open sport karate competition, all the officials are paid accordingly for their roles. Like not just at the WKF level or PKF level. I mean, you're paid for your role, for your job that day, and I guess it will force you to do that, to do a better job, because now you're being paid for your job. You're kind of held accountable for the job because you're being paid for it.
Do you think that's the biggest thing that's missing? Is funding?
I think as a volunteer, you go, I'm a volunteer. What do you want from me? And I think that's that's a stigma that I'm a volunteer. I'm doing this for free. So don't give me crap after I'm done my thing, because I'm volunteering my time. And I totally understand that too. But I think if we want to resolve a couple of things, I think we have to pay the officials like a job, like a real job, and give them some kind of money so they can be held accountable for their actions. Right. Again, I'm not saying that volunteers shouldn't be held accountable either, but I think when you're now paying someone to be in charge, I think
you take that personal responsibility.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. Yeah. I know for a fact that when you compete in sport karate competition, there are multiple components to criteria for forms. They give you criteria like I think choreography scores and stuff, and synchronization scores, and then they give you the overall score. So even in other circuits, they do, like, I guess, implement that in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
Okay. So what are some common mistakes that athletes will make when they're new and up and coming, let's say first nationals? What are some big mistakes that athletes will make?
You mean heading into it or being there?
Like at the tournament.
At the tournament. Oh, I mean, not staying focused. I think being on a national team, a provincial team for many years, I think you tend to be so focused on being there, and you're excited. All your energy is kind of dispersed everywhere. All your friends are there, new opportunities, new place. You're too excited, and I guess you kind of lose focus of what you need to get done. Here's what it is. For me, as an athlete, it's a job. Being an athlete is a job. You've been presented with this opportunity to compete at a international, national, provincial level. Take advantage of that. I mean, don't squander the opportunity because your eyes are busy looking at everything else, and your mind is racing everywhere. I mean, do your job first, get in, get out, and then after your job's done, you can enjoy. I mean, but really, there's a lot of time and money invested into what you're doing right now. I think you need to stay focused on what you really want to, what your goals are, really. What are you trying to do, right? So definitely stay focused and keep your mind in the game before you do anything else.
Yeah.
What's your future right now? What are your future goals? Build your club? Build your athletes?
Build my club, build my athletes. I think for me, karate's changed a lot in the last 10 years, right? Before, when I first started, I was really hungry. I was like, come on, we got to win everything. We got to do all these competitions, hence the 27, 28 competitions. And it was great, by the way. But I think now I really want to give all my students a really good karate experience. I don't think competition is very good. I believe it's absolutely essential to be successful in the future, to have competition karate. But other than that, I want to give them life experiences. I want to teach them every level of karate, not just the punching and the kicking and the yelling and the screaming and the push-ups. I think teach them how to hone their mind, to take them places and kind of enjoy karate outside of the box. We're planning a big trip to Japan, and we're trying to I guess go more places to compete rather than than staying here in BC.
Sure. Huh, I like it.
Okay. So what's the funniest thing you've seen happen while watching one of your students compete or sitting in the coach's chair?
Ooh, funniest thing? You know what? Honestly, it's gotta be when the boys hit puberty. When the ki when puberty hits, it's done. Like you squeak all the time. When you announce kata names, it's just like and when you kumite, it's the exact same thing. It's like someone just like kicked you square in the butt, and you're screaming on top of your lungs, and you can't help it. I mean, and you can't help but laugh when you're kind of sitting there on the side, right?
I love it. I love it. Cool. We're gonna close the interview just by hitting you with a little bit of a lightning round. So we're gonna just ask you some quick questions, this or that. Give us your feedback, and people can get to know you a little bit more.
All right.
Okay. Passenger or driver?
Driver.
Kata or kumite?
Both.
Cake or pie?
Cake.
Cardio or weights?
Weights.
Hamburger or taco?
Hamburger.
Aka or ao?
Ow.
Couch or recliner?
Couch.
Apple or Android?
Apple.
Email or letter?
Email.
Kumite video review or no video review?
Kumite video review.
TV or book?
TV.
Jogging or hiking?
Neither.
Skip the cardios. Only weights. No hiking. No,
Jogging. If I had to pick, I'd say jogging.
City or countryside?
Countryside.
Tablet or computer?
Computer.
Card game or board game?
Card game.
Okay, last one. Do you like the old Ippon Nihon Sanbon or the new Yuko Wazari Ippon?
I'm old school, man. OG, dude.
It was like Shobu Ippon then? Wazari Ippon,
man.
that's it?
That was way better. It was
you.
Fast and Furious, man. It was OG, dude.
Yeah. We used to come in and for those who don't know anyway, it would be, you could either score a full point and just win the match, or you could get a half point and then another half point to get a full point. So there'd be matches where you'd we'd drive or fly to a competition. You'd come in, you'd bow, and then Ajime, boom, head kick, first 5 seconds, done. Thank you, bow, go home. That's it.
I think we did Shobu Sanbon though. I think
we did that too.
But I believe we did Shobu Sanbon. I think when we were competing back in the day.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I think probably the competitions that we competed in was all Shobu.
You know
Sanbon.
what? I was at a competition last week and we still did Shobu Sanbon.
Really?
Yes.
Bringing it back.
So,
where was that one?
That one in Linwood, actually.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
So it was just like 2 hours south of the border.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, but you see what I mean by diversity? Change it up, man.
Yeah, you got to see what's out there, and as a competitor, it really helps you to I guess change, right? You got to modify, you got to adapt to the situation.
Absolutely.
Cool. Thanks for taking the time, Kenny. I appreciate it. Have a good rest of the weekend.
Thank you. You guys too. Lauren, good luck to you.
Yeah, thanks.
I know you got a big thing coming up in December, right? All right. Good luck.
Bye.
Thanks very much, Kenny.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Excellent. Another good guy. Great guy. I can't believe we've known each other 20 years. That I took a step back when I heard that. Man, it's been a long time. But hopefully that gave you a little bit of experience or a little bit of knowledge. Think you could do 27 tournaments in a year?
I think that'd be a little much for me.
That's more than 2 a month.
Yeah.
A lot of driving, a lot of traveling.
And
You're happy with what you do now?
With school too, yeah. I think I'm good now.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll hit some few more out there just to give you some experience. But you have some new ones because it's going to be your first ever BC Open, your first ever team selection, your first ever nationals, and then who knows what happens from there. So you have a bunch of new experiences coming up. Thanks very much, Kenny, for joining us for this interview. That's episode 9. Double digits next week. It's going to be fun. Thanks for joining us.